All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and out, all the backstage drama, behind the curtain stuff. Also, we talk about, superstar injury statuses, inactive, like when are they going to come back, contract negotiations, extensions, and, even signings for promotions. We run through promotions like WWE, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor. Of course, we touch on New Japan Professional Wrestling, CMLL, the GCW, the NWA, basically everything under the professional wrestling umbrella. If it makes major news, has wrestling headlines, we talk about it here on the show. So, yeah, make sure you tune in, Monday through Friday to watch your favorite wrestling fan. Just go at it. All right, just going to reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our AEW Dynamite review, and now we're going to talk about my Thursday night wrestling preview, Ring of Honor, TNA. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to hit that super chat button right there. It's that dollar sign under the chat box. If you have a burning question or just a hot take in terms of professional wrestling or just something you want to get off your chest. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are absolutely all ears. 100% of the time, the show is all about keeping the conversation going, keeping it lively, keep the party flowing a little bit, making sure that your voice is part of the mix because this is our podcast. Together, we will make this podcast bigger, better, and stronger than ever. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment or question gets noticed, why not use that super chat? Just hit that dollar sign below the chat box, and your hot take is guaranteed to be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your super chats helps us keep the lights on the GSMC Sports Network and it keeps us delivering awesome content, awesome sports content that you guys love so dang much. We are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference, 1,010%. So let's keep the party going, guys. Let's go. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome, and together this podcast will be ours. Uh, and if the super chat's not your thing, you can still hit up the GSMCpodcast.net, hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Give me your hot takes. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember the Superman punch, that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. So, but of course, sometimes if you have some criticism, it's cool. Definitely. It makes things a lot cooler to talk about. You know what I mean? So send in those chats. Don't be shy, and we're just gonna have a good time. Let's have a good time. That's what life's all about, baby. All right, so we're gonna talk about my Thursday night wrestling preview. All right, first we're gonna start off with some TNA Impact live tonight. I can't wait to see it. Obviously, we're gonna witness the fallout from Victory Road, which was a great pay-per-view. All in all, I thought Victory Road, a lot of success you're seeing TNA go through lately, ever since their new collaboration with WWE NXT. And, I'm not the one to say and be like, oh, it's because the WWE brand attached to the TNA Impact brand obviously kind of shed a little light on a wrestling promotion that was quote unquote dying. And I don't think so. I thought TNA Impact was like a diamond in the rough. They have great wrestlers. Now they kind of have a platform to kind of showcase that. And now people are like, the light switches on in their head inside professional wrestling. And they're like, you know what? TNA is actually pretty great. I watch TNA from time to time. I watch mostly the highlights and stuff like that because I don't have Access TV or TNA Plus at the moment. But it's always fun to kind of keep tabs on it. I follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you basically get a lot of clips of the show. Kind of get a huge, kind of get the gist of things mostly. And but I'm a TNA Impact fan. Obviously, my love for TNA kind of went back in time through like 2006 when you had the heart of TNA. 2006 to probably 2009, I think it was 2009, where you had like, oh my God, anybody who was anybody was on TNA. That was when they had the six-sided ring, and I thought that was sick. Loved it. The X Division was awesome. The World Title Division, even the knockouts were great. And Gail Kim, I remember Christy Hemme. There was a lot of great girls. 1,010%. So kind of cool to see TNA make it up to Rise again. I definitely think they're going to be bigger. They're going to be, they're going to be stronger as a wrestling promotion. And it's just kind of cool to see how WWE also benefits from TNA as well. You have a lot of great superstars like Zachary Wentz from MSK, the Rascals. You also saw Hammerstone on TNA. You've also, on NXT, you've seen Jordan Grace, the most electrifying woman in sports entertainment, the most dominant champion, the juggernaut. Jordan Grace is just, she's fascinating. She's breathtaking. It's amazing watching her matches. It's super cool. Joe Hendry as well. Joe Hendry, is a huge star. And watching all these dudes kind of come out, I like it. I think it's pretty cool. All right, first we're going to talk about a JDC taking on Mike Santana in a Texas death match. Mike Santana's war with the system has been raging for weeks. Hopefully this will get them to shut up. I know at Victory Road they regained the TNA World Tag Team titles, which I hated. I really hated that. I was like, dude, like I don't get it. Like they've kind of held the stronghold over TNA for such a long time. And now for a little bit, you had ABC, which is a fantastic tag team. And I'm not dogging on, the system. I just, their matches are, they're big, they're bad, they're strong. They're, a little bit, they got that veteran approach where they slow down things inside the ring. But ABC, it was high flying, it was awesome, much anticipation, and it was just electric. It was nice. It was nice to watch, like kind of like a chase of pace. So now we got the former tag team champions regained their belts. So now we're kind of succumb to, kind of the same kind of tag team wrestling that you've seen in TNA ever since they had the reign before they lost to ABC. So, it is what it is. So I can't really, I guess, complain that much because, hopefully, it'd be kind of cool to see an NXT team come to TNA and challenge them. That'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope. Next, we will hear from I Believe in Joe and Believe in Joe Hendry, guys. Do you believe? Do you believe in Joe? At TNA Victory Road, Joe Hendry and Josh Alexander clashed in a battle for supremacy. Although Alexander pushed him to the limit, it was Hendry who outsmarted the walking weapon and walked out victorious. So, we're going to have Joe Hendry tonight. And whenever he's part of the show, it's just awesome. It's just great. Like you can't help but to look at him and just smile. You know what I mean? Like he has that it boy factor to him. You know what I mean? And Josh Alexander, he's thinking about leaving TNA. And I kind of compared him to like a modern day, kind of not that successful Kurt Angle, but he has a lot of talent. He could be a champion. And it'd be a damn shame to watch him walk out that door to head to AEW or something like that. It'd be good for AEW. You know what? Josh Alexander is kind of under the microscope in terms of in terms of wrestlers on the hitting the free agent market and stuff like that. But anywhere he goes, he'd be amazing. He'd be what is it? Diamond for the Aladdin stuff and whatever. Sorry, I'm a Disney dad, so I watch Disney movies from time to time. But sometimes I'll make a Disney reference. Spitfire is action. Jody Threat and Danny Luna's journey as the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions will reach a very pivotal moment, when they almost had to break up. They almost had to break up. They overcame, Slamovich and Steels, but it was ultimately Slamovich and also Edwards who were the champions. Kind of sucked that Masha Slamovich kind of got blamed for everything. Although, she gave it all she got. She gave it all she got. Tasha Steels is just super impressive. She continues to impress me every single time I check out highlights or I see her on my Instagram reels. And she's one of she's one of the best in the knockouts division. If Jordan Grace didn't have all, it's hard. It'd be so hard to beat Jordan Grace right now because on top of momentum, she's just strong. She's dominating. She controls the match at her own tempo. And she's fast. Like usually, somebody who is strong, they're not that fast. Those who are fast, usually aren't that strong. But this girl's literally the total package. Just like, you made her inside of a video game and her overall is just 100, 100, 100. Endurance, 100. Stamina, 100. Charisma, 100. Like, what I mean? It's like she was made in a lab, but, she worked hard for, where she's at right now in TNA. And I don't see her title run kind of, coming to an end anytime soon. Next, we got Matt Cardona once again. I love Matt Cardona. I think he's I liked him as Zack Ryder. Now I'm not hating on him, but he's a little aggressive. But then again, you kind of have to do that as a wrestler. So I get it. Maximize your time. That's what CM Punk told Roxanne Perez on Tuesday NXT. Maximize your time. And right now, Matt Cardona is doing just that. You know what I mean? Like on top of playing mind games with Stephanie Lander and the whole PCO situation, interrupting their wedding, low blowing Rhino, kicking the middle rope. Oh God, ooh, that sounds terrible. It sounds terrible, man. Poor Rhino. That's got to be the worst shot in the history of wrestling. It was terrible. It was terrible. So Matt Cardona is going to fight one on one with my man Rhino. Obviously, I love Rhino from ECW. He was pretty damn good. His little thing in WWE was all right. He was the first ever WCW / ECW wrestler who came in through the invasion angle to win a singles title in WWF / WWE. It was the hardcore, but a belt's a belt. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, lastly on TNA, we have First Class taking on Sinner Saint. This should be interesting because First Class is looking to bounce back after losing to the Hardys at Victory Road. AJ Francis continues to look. He continues to look successful, and he looks good. He does look good. I think Navarro and him are pretty good. Pretty good. They're having a pretty good run as a new tag team. Obviously, taking down the Hardys is not that great, and it's not an easy task, obviously, if you're fighting brothers who literally know what they're thinking and doing at the exact same time. It'd be a little troublesome. All right, so now moving on to some Ring of Honor tonight. Should be pretty awesome. I can't wait to see what tonight's Ring of Honor has in store. So first and foremost, we got to throw some flowers. Of course, always, always, always. Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena is now the longest reigning champion in Ring of Honor's 22-year history. And congratulations. I think that's great. I think that's great. 1,010%. Ring of Honor has been such a steeple, 20 plus years in the wrestling, industry. And, for the longest time, if you wanted to check out like edgy content, if you wanted to check out some people who never dropped the ball in terms of wrestling storylines, Ring of Honor was it, man. Ring of Honor was definitely killing it during the late 1990s. No, not 1990s. I think it was late 2000. I don't know, but they were doing great. They were doing great, and they still continue to do great. Obviously, with this new partnership with Tony Khan, it's going to be a little bit more elusive. You have New Japan Professional Wrestling and the CMLL as well. So, I think it's great for the company. It's great for the company. Obviously you've seen Ring of Honor's wrestling like Bryan Danielson. I remember seeing him, kind of doing some research and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, he looks so young. It's crazy. Bryan Danielson, man. And then Nigel McGuinness as well. And now they're going to fight each other. And it's kind of cool how things, in the wrestling world, kind of comes full circle. You got to pay attention to the history as well because sometimes history renews or new rivalries are spun from like old rivalries and stuff like that. So you know it, that's something special about professional wrestling. That's probably why I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? I'm not the greatest wrestling historian, because I do I love the Attitude Era. The whole WCW Monday Night Wars was awesome. The Ruthless Aggression era, obviously the new era. I do dabble myself in some Hulk Hogan stuff. But overall, you know what I mean. But I usually check if I'm like, oh, Triple H is not. I'm just kidding. No, just no. I don't play favorites. Not at all. I'm just kidding. Moving on, we have a proving ground match tonight. We have the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara taking on the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds, and Evil Uno. This could definitely be a Dark Order win right here. I could definitely see them picking up the dub tonight, getting a title shot against Dustin Rhodes and Sammy. Dustin Rhodes also, he's having a little bit of contract obligation troubles. He wanted to retire at his own time. Obviously, maybe that kind of woke up creative writing in AEW and Ring of Honor. It's like, you know what? Let's see what this guy's got. Let's see what he's got left in the tank. He's still, I think he's still the 6-man championship of the Fun Erics. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But I definitely think he's special. He still has a lot of, like I said, he still has a lot left in the tank. And having a young, charismatic, enthusiastic, high flying, just powerful at the same time, having a partner like Sammy Guevara is going to, gonna kind of exceed you to, kind of meet and exceed expectations. So in terms of professional wrestling, so that should be pretty badass. I honestly I can't wait. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are also, still gunning for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, but they kind of remind me of the system. Is it weird? Like sometimes when I think of the system, I think of Matt Tate, and I'm like, dude, no, dude, no, what are you doing? That's the Undisputed Kingdom, Eric. Like, what are you thinking? Next, we have a tag team contest with the Infantry taking on Angelico and Serpentico. I want to see them do. I feel like Angelico and Serpentico, I feel like they're gonna do better. I feel like they're definitely going to be down the line, challenging for the tag team title belts. But it's not easy to beat the Infantry though. Then they themselves, I think it was a couple of weeks ago when they came out. They're like, look, like we're not dead. You know what I mean? We are still here in Ring of Honor, and we've been still, kicking ass and taking names. So you can a rejuvenated, like the rejuvenated Infantry could do really well for the wrestling promotion, to be honest. Dark Order's John Silver will take on KM. Preston Vance against Brandon Cutler. Also, it's going to be Brian Cage and Cage of Agony will be action. STP's Anthony Ogogo in action. Racheal Ellering also going to be in action tonight on Ring of Honor. So make sure you guys tune into Honor Club. Watch some of wrestling's greatest one of wrestling's greatest promotions that Ring of Honor has, and definitely fall in love with a lot of these Thursday night wrestling promos and a lot of these shows because it's just different. You know what I mean? And it's something that kind of got me to step away from WWE was because it just looked like so mainstream. I mean, like I don't want to sound like a jerk because I still watched it, but like it just looked so like bubblegum poppy, like mainstream. Like I don't know. It just didn't look like wrestling. I remember wrestling had the steel guard rails and stuff like that, and interacting with fans. And well, like I said, I am an attitude era kind of guy. So, I kind of and that's something that Ring of Honor and I feel like AEW kind of piqued my interest. I think that's the reason why it's so raw, it's so new, and innovative in my mind. You know what I mean? All right, so we got done talking about my Thursday night wrestling preview. Now we're going to talk about wrestling's greatest rivalries. So, hey, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, grab your favorite snack. Mine is definitely pretzels. Gotta love pretzels is an oldie but goodie. But anyways, grab whatever you want, and I'll see you here in like 20 seconds.